Hey guys, how you going? Dan here from Swim T3, and I'm talking about goggles. How long should goggles last? I always get asked this question. I always say it's a bit of a piece of string, all right? Depends on how well you look after them. But here's some key points for you. If you make sure when you put your goggles on, when you're in the chlorinated pool, try not to dip them into the chlorine. Chlorine destroys absolutely everything, especially your antifog. The next thing is keep your fingers outside of the goggles. I see so many people when they're putting their goggles on, they put their fingers in the goggles, all right? They're putting fingers, they're scratching it, and then they throw it on their eyes, and then they're going like this, right? And then all their hair gets through it. Like your hair, the oils, everything is going to destroy it. The golden rule is keep the lens clean and keep everything away from the lens. The best thing to do for the goggles is to make sure you keep it dry. After every swim, you rinse it out with fresh water and you make sure you keep it in a goggle case to keep it protected. A lot of the times it's in the car. It heats up in the car on a hot summer's day and it will actually melt the goggle or disform it. While it's in your bag, other things that are in your gym bag are getting in on the lens. So make sure, keep it clean, look after your goggles, get a goggle case. The goggle case, you want to make sure, I like the hard ones, but you can also get a nice pocket neoprene one. You put the goggles on the inside, you can also keep any nose clips or anything in there. It's nice and safe, it's easy to find, and it's going to protect your goggles. So guys, how long should a pair of goggles last? It can be anywhere between 3 years. I've seen people have their goggles and they just don't change them. I also see people that change them like every 3 months. It's individual, it's up to you. But what I find is generally after 3 to 6 months, the goggle maybe won't suck as well, all right? Won't give as much suction. And that's because there's a fat buildup around the eye, okay? And that goes onto the goggle and it stops it from getting the seal. What I love to do, and it's rather than buying a new pair of goggles, get yourself some Goggle. Goggle's a little moist towelette. It looks just like that. It's my favorite. You know, there's lots of anti-fogs out there, but what this one does is not only does it give it a layer of anti-fog over the lens, but what it also does is it cleans all the grime, all the dirt from the silicone gasket, and that gives it another fresh lifespan, which will give you, another 3 to 4 months. And you want to make sure when you got the towelette, you use it here and you clean all around the eye gasket and you cover the lens because it gives it a coat of anti-fog. So my top tip, grab yourself a Goggle. All right, guys, so what type of goggle will suit you? I'll tell you what the best type of goggle is. It's one that fits your face. Not all goggles are the same. A lot of goggles are made symmetrically, but not all our faces are symmetrical, let's be honest. So it's really important that you come in store, you get fitted for a goggle that's going to seal really, really well. And you know what? It's really easy to find out if a goggle is going to suit you. I'm going to grab this goggle here. All right, just one that I've just pulled randomly off the shelf. This is the best way of putting your goggles on and making sure that you've got a good seal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hands into the goggle. I'm going to put the goggle on my eyes. Eyes nice and wide, like I'm surprised. Okay, so you can see my eyebrows lift up. I'm going to lift the strap over. I'm going to make sure it's about at the top. It's not down here because you can see the goggle move. When it's up at the top, it's going to give a much better seal. All right. And now my eyes are nice, my eyebrows were nice and high. I've just let it sit into the eye socket and relax. And it's just actually give it a little push here, and it's got a little seal. So let's listen for this. Let's bring it right up. You hear that? That's what I'm looking for. You can actually feel it if you're just holding on. It won't want to come off. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. If it just falls off and you can't feel the seal, then you know those goggles aren't for you. What type of goggle is going to be right for you? We have open water goggles, we have pool goggles. Now, I use a pool goggle in the open water. Really, it depends on, and the most important is the seal. If you get the seal, that's the most important. If you can get a seal with an open water goggle and you're doing open water, that's great as well, because not only is there's going to be no water in there, it's going to give you more vision because there's no water in there. That's the important part. The open water goggle will generally be a bigger goggle, all right? Something kind of like this one here, okay? It's generally a little bit bigger. It gives more surface area for the eyes. If you are in the open water race, you do get whacked, it's going to be a lot more cushioning around that, as well as it has a larger lens. A lot of them will be curved for the open water, and what the curved lens does in the open water is it gives you vision, so you can sight. You can get up over the wave and sight. That's really important. What you're going to find is if you have that open water lens in the pool, it makes everything blurry. What type of lens are we looking for? Well, it's different for different people, but a general rule of thumb, what we're looking for is the brighter the situation, either the more mirrored or polarized. I prefer polarized because it takes the glare out. Or as we're going down to the lower lights, you might get maybe a cloudy day, or you're inside a pool, you might want like a blue lens or a smoke lens, or perhaps a clear lens. I know as I'm getting older, I definitely like the clear lenses. Way easier to see the clock. So depending on your conditions, some people will have two pairs of goggles. They'll have a mirror or a polarized for a brighter occasions, and they might have a pool goggle for indoor occasions. So it depends on what you want. You can use a mirrored lens inside the pool. You see a lot of the racers will do it. They don't want people to see in their eyes. You know, they look much cooler too, I think. But what you'll find is, yeah, depending on the pool conditions and how you see out of it is how you'll choose your lens. Early morning, go for a lighter lens. Over cloud, go for a lighter lens. Indoors, go for a lighter lens generally. All right, when it's sunny, get that protection, get a mirrored lens, get the polarized lens.